esophagus is underneath all this stuff.
Okay.
That's, you know what I don't want to do is rip away.
Yeah. So it's the fundus.
No, I can see the esophagus. The esophagus is right there, right? Index finger, that's the esophagus right there.
Okay. So that,
Joining the stomach. And that makes this part of the stomach right here, that's the cardia. C-A-R-D-I-A. It's not something we're doing in lab. I'm not going to ask you this for lab.
really?
But we
I think
will.
it's on the list, though.
I think it is on the list, but I'm not going to ask it. We're going to cover it in lecture. For
Okay.
sure. Cardia, esophagus, fundus,
Okay.
greater curvature,
Uh-huh.
lesser curvature,
Okay.
body of the stomach.
Okay.
That's pretty much the stomach.
And then the end is the pylorus.
Ah, good, thank you. Right here, at the very end of the stomach, right here. Let me describe the greater curvature. There's the greater curvature right there.
Okay.
There's the lesser curvature.
Okay.
And right there, that's the pylorus. That's the end of the stomach where the stomach joins the small intestine.
Right.
The small intestine here is the duodenum. You with me?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go back to the greater curvature. Here's the greater curvature of the stomach right there.
Okay.
Coming off the greater curvature is a modified mesentery. A mesentery, remember, is a double layer of serous membrane, and this mesentery is filled with fat. Here it is. This is, in fact, I'm going to have you pinch it and hold it. That right there. That's it.
Oh. So
That's
it comes off the stomach,
it
not
com-
the small intestine?
It doesn't. Actually, it comes off of the greater curvature of the stomach, and it forms an apron or a sheet that overlies the rest of the digestive tract.
Okay.
Okay, let go of it. This is all intestinal tract. All this stuff down here is intestine. And this sheet, let me put it back the way it belongs, and you can feel right there. Now you can feel how it overlies the rest of the intestinal tract.
Okay.
That's all what we call the greater omentum.
Okay.
It comes off the greater curvature of the stomach, and it covers the intestine.
But it itself is mesentery.
It's made out of mesentery. It's a double. Actually, it's made out of a double layer of mesentery. A mesentery is 2 layers of serous membrane, but this mesentery is folded back, so you have a double layer.
Okay.
Get it? So you have 4 layers of serous membrane, and in between there's a cavity inside there where the fat's located. And that's called the omental bursa.
Okay.
The omental bursa is where these little rivulets of fat are located inside there.
Inside the mesentery.
Inside the mesentery.
Okay.
Down in there. Omental bursa. You all right with that? Okay. That's coming off the greater curvature of the stomach. Coming off the lesser curvature of the stomach. Let's go back to where the lesser curvature is. Here we go again with greater curvature to refresh your memory.
Okay.
There's greater curvature. Lesser curvature is a tight little inside curve, little concave curve. And there's a mesentery there, inside the lesser curvature, that connects the stomach to the liver. That's the lesser omentum.
Okay.
It's another mesentery, double layer of serous membrane, anchoring the stomach to the liver,
Okay.
okay, in between the two, lesser omentum.
Okay.
All right? That's greater omentum, lesser omentum. Now, let's take a look at the intestine. There's the stomach again. Greater curvature of the stomach. Coming out of here's the pyloric region. Coming out of the pylorus is the small intestine. The first part of the small intestine forms a U-shaped curve. It comes out and bends around and heads back in the opposite direction.
Okay.
That's the duodenum. And in the curve of the duodenum, let me get this straightened out. Right here, here's the duodenum right there. In the curve of that duodenum is the pancreas. That's the pancreas right there.
Oh, okay.
Right next to the intestine. It's probably hard to feel where one ends and the other starts,
Yeah,
but they're both nested together right there.
Okay.
Pancreas, duodenum. Good?
Okay.
Okay. The duodenum connects with the next part of the small intestine, which is the jejunum. What I'm going to do to have you identify jejunum is, what I'll do to have you identify duodenum is show you the stomach, and you'll be able to tell that the duodenum connects to the stomach.
Right.
So there's only one thing that does. It's the duodenum. For the jejunum, I'll place your hands right out here.
Okay.
That's the intestine out there. And I'll tell you that it doesn't connect to the stomach, and it doesn't connect to the large intestine either.
Okay.
And that means you must put on your answer sheet, jejunum.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Okay. Then the third part of the small intestine is the part that does connect with the large intestine. That's the ileum. So I'm going to move your hands away for a second and straighten everything out here so that I can see what's going on. There we go. I'm going to rearrange this stuff a little bit. And right here, okay, give me your index finger. This is the ileum coming in to the large intestine right there. That's large intestine heading upward. This would be, in a human, this would be the ascending colon. Down here, this dead end pouch right here, that's the cecum.
Okay.
Cecum. And there's the intestine coming in right there. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is the pouch.
Yep, the cecum is the first part.
Okay.
Then we have the rest of the large intestine, and it runs, let me trace your finger along it. It's shorter than in a human. It just runs right up, bends around,
Oh, wow.
whoa,
Yeah.
bends around, and heads toward the anus. This part right here is the rectum.
Okay.
And we're not calling this descending colon, we're not calling this transverse colon, and we're not calling this ascending colon. And the reason is, it's just forming a horseshoe. It doesn't really divide into abrupt, different directional parts of the large intestine like it does in a human. Just calling it all large intestine until we get down to the rectum. That part does head toward the anus, right down into the pelvic cavity.
Okay.
That's the rectum.
Okay.
So I do want you to differentiate that.
Okay.
All right. And that's it. Now the end of the large intestine is the anal canal that we don't have opened up and aren't going to open it up. And then the very opening at the very outside is the anus, which we're also not going to explore. Okay? But I do want you to know about them.
Okay. What about, I know that there's stuff on the list that do we have to know on the cat, the common bile duct and...
Yep, we're going to, I don't know if I can show you that. I'll show you where it is. The common bile duct travels through the lesser omentum. Between the liver, between the gallbladder, which is right there nested in the liver, and the duodenum.
Okay.
So,
Through the lesser omentum.
yeah, through the lesser omentum. So there's the liver right there. There's the lesser, all of this is lesser omentum. All this business in here is lesser omentum.
Okay.
And in there is the common bile duct.
Okay.
And that's the best I can do. What I'll do is show you the lesser omentum, and I'll say, name the duct within this membrane.
Okay.
It can only be common bile duct. Because I think it's too small for you to differentiate it with your fingers. It just blends in too well.
How about the ligaments? Falciform and the round, do we have to...
Okay, yep, I'll show you the falciform ligament. Now the round ligament on the cat, I've asked students to scratch it,
Okay.
because it doesn't show up on the cat.
Okay.
But the falciform ligament definitely does. So here's the liver again. All of that's liver. To refresh your memory, there is the gallbladder.
Okay.
Here's the superficial surface of the liver right there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna straighten out. Here's the liver again. This is the diaphragm.
Okay.
Diaphragm muscle. There it is over there.
Right.
And right here, there's a little patch, a little membrane right there. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
That's falciform ligament.
Oh.
That's the
Okay.
falciform ligament right there.
There's only one, right?
There's only one, and it anchors the liver to the diaphragm.
Okay.
That's its job. It connects the liver to the diaphragm.
Okay.
Got it? What else? Can I take a look at your paper here? My hands are all goopy. So the spleen, I want to show you the spleen. The spleen is it's hooked onto the greater omentum. So to see the greater omentum, we go back to the stomach. There's the stomach.
Right.
There's the greater curvature of the stomach. Coming off the greater curvature, and I'm going to straighten it out and make it right. This is the greater omentum. All that fatty stuff is greater omentum.
Okay.
On the left end of the greater omentum, that would be over here, this structure right there, big, long, thin structure. On a human, it's round.
Right.
On a cat, it's long and narrow. That's the spleen. Right? Give me your thumb.
Try to find the difference between that and the momentum.
Okay, feel the spleen. You got it. That's it.
This big?
No, that's the stomach again. That's spleen.
Oh, okay.
And in all of this goopy stuff right there, all of that is greater omentum.
Okay.
That's all greater
So
omentum.
this is,
That's spleen.
yeah, okay.
Show me the stomach.
How does this one?
Stomach. That's stomach.
Stomach.
Cheng Su, what was your question? You had a question?
This one?
This thing there, that's a kidney.
Oh,
That's a kidney. We haven't done those yet. We haven't done the kidneys yet. We'll get to that though.
Are you going to ask us about the Rouge?
This stomach hasn't been opened up, and I haven't seen too many that are. What I can do is open this stomach. Let me do that. Let me go get a scalpel. I'm gonna do a frontal section on this stomach. We'll open it and we'll see if there are rugae in there. If the stomach's empty, usually the inner wall is shrunken up and folded up into ridges. Those are the rugae. All right. So I'll be right back.